Okay, so the past week I've finished up the first chapter of Journey of the Return. It's about an hour long, covers everything from the introductory cutscenes to the first boss battle, and I'm finally ready to move on to the game's hub village. Kind of get more into kind of what the village is and one of the cool things that the village does. So this village, it's inhabited by robots who design creatures for their everyday needs. They can engineer them from the ground up, or sometimes they'll take existing creatures and breed them to create something better. And so I wanted to show you this week one of my favorite creature designs. One of the things that I'm hoping to get to come across in this game is the fact that, you know, these robots, they engineer creatures to meet their everyday needs, kind of the way that we like to engineer machines or like to engineer like technologies. And so you'll see these creatures fit a very specific need. I'll show you what they're like in game, and then I'll show you why it is that I made them. So these creatures, they are called Glowflies. They're the village's main form of lighting, and it's a little bit of a misnomer. They themselves neither glow nor fly, but you'll see why they're called that. In fact, you can kind of see it right now. So these little guys, Glowflies, you can see the creature themselves. They just kind of hang out in a little bucket, a little wooden bowl, and they have these things floating around them. Well, that's because Glowflies, they're actually hungry little telepathic creatures. They like to latch onto things and float them over their heads as they slowly dissolve and digest them over time. And they can eat anything at all. They can eat boxes, they can eat bones, they can eat twigs, they can eat dirt, they can eat wood, they can eat anything, even other creatures, which has been known to happen from time to time. They're a little bit dumb, but they're also a little bit mischievous. They like to play pranks. The name comes from the fact that the things that they eat, the things that they're dissolving, they give off this soft glow over time. And that's the way that they're designed. They're designed to give this soft, nice, even lighting all day long, and they only need to be fed once a day by the village's keepers. In fact, during holidays, the keepers of the village will feed these guys like little festive decorations to kind of make the holiday feel just a little bit more fun, whether that be pumpkins or little wreaths or whatever. And so these guys, they're meant to be the village's main light source. They prefer this form of lighting because it's more even, it doesn't give off any heat really, and it's just simpler overall. They feed them once and they stay happy and fed and giving off light like until the next morning, essentially. So the implementation of these was actually pretty simple. I was a little worried that it would be more complicated, but turned out not really. All these guys is just a script, a light source for them, just so that they themselves give off a little bit of light and sell the effect a little bit better. And a sprite. And all the script does is it essentially takes in a couple parameters, which I'll show you here in a minute, and then uses those parameters to generate a bunch of random objects that all glow. And they'll generate them within a certain space and a certain number of them. And so how that works is we've got a couple little parameters here. I'll zoom in nice and close here so you can see these arcs. But these parameters control these two little arcs. You have things like the angle, which is basically how wide the arc is. You have the rotation, which is kind of what direction this little arc points. And you have a spread, which you can't really see what it does here, but spread basically controls how far apart these objects are going to be within the arc. And it will try to generate them with at least that much space in between. 2.5 units is what I like to keep it set to. You also have things like the radius of the outer arc and the inner arc to kind of generate objects closer to or further away from the glowfly. And then you have the object count, which I like to keep between like 2 and 4, but let's try something a little fun here. So let's bump this up to like 100, 200. See what this looks like. And let's see what this does. If this breaks, then it was never designed to do this. It's It's the power of the sun. But yeah, this is essentially just generating like a million of these objects. And since each of them has their own like little additive light source, it turned into its own little nuclear power plant here. So that's what the Glowflies, that's like how they work. And why did I do this? Why did I decide to do this instead of doing like fire or just like a generic light or lamp or something like that? Well, the reason why is, first, I hate lighting. I'm not a lighting guy like at all. But I wanted to make some sort of lighting that would feel, make the village feel a little bit more alien at first. A little bit more, I don't know, maybe not haunted, but a little bit more unearthly, until the player gets to know the village a little bit better. And so that's what these guys do, is they provide that sort of alienness to the environment, or at least that's what I'm hoping. Part of the reason why I made these as well is I wanted to make it dead simple to make lighting. And basically all it does is it just has a bunch of little point lights that it generates. It just lights up the scene more or less evenly where I want it. And because of that, it makes my job a lot more simple. I don't have to go in and do like meticulous lighting for every single aspect of the village, thankfully. Instead, I just throw up a global light for whether or not it's day or night, and then if it's night, I turn on these little guys and have them glow. So yeah, that's what the Glowflies are. Like I said, they're one of my favorite little creature designs. There's more to come, obviously, but I just wanted to demo them because I thought they were interesting. So yeah, thank you guys so much for checking this video out. Now, if you liked the video, feel free to give me a like. And if you're interested in following the development of Journey of the Return, feel free to subscribe. Or you can also check out the link to my Discord. I tend to try to post something at least every day, every other day, even if it's just like a dumb meme or something. Right now, the community is pretty small, but it is growing steadily as more of my friends are coming into the fold. And hey, I'd really love to see what you guys are doing, whether you're playing games or whether you're making a game of your own, whether you like art, whether you like pizza, whether you like, I don't know, whatever. So yeah, come by, hang out. And, you know, every once in a while I plan on doing a work stream as well. So if you have questions about what the game's about, questions on the game's development, question on game development in general, I'll keep you guys posted. Anyway, that's all for now. Thanks, friends. See you next time.